What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Open Mic Podcast with your host, me, Tom Hirst, brought to you by Richland Source and Newsroom After Hours. Today, we have Madison Lang.
Hello.
In the studio for you. You want to introduce yourself, dear?
Hi, I'm Madison Lang. I am 26 almost and a stay-at-home mom, and I'm just happy to be on the podcast.
Yeah. Awesome. And her two beautiful children are hanging out with us today. Hi, Clementine.
She's being all shy.
She's coloring.
Yeah.
She's got her princess book. It's amazing. But yeah. So yeah, you. How long have you? Typically, your stuff is like just kind of singer-songwriter. Or how would you describe your music? I guess is a better question.
I would say it varies. Like the style is all over the place. Yeah. Usually, most of my stuff that I've written by myself just is normally like a really dark, like sounding, just like guitar with like vocals, and that's pretty much it. Just like a very DIY sounding recording, like nothing very professional, just like enjoying the atmospheric sort of feel of it. But I've liked to play around with different sounds with other people and having different bands throughout the years or whatever. Yeah. So it's just been kind of whatever to me.
Okay.
It's never been a consistent thing, but doing my own music has always been like the consistent style of being like sketches of work.
Okay.
Like on a whim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I always used to call them my one-hit wonders because I would just write the song, record it, and that'd be it, and then I would forget it forever.
Really? Interesting.
So most of the songs I've written, I don't remember at all.
Yeah.
Especially the ones in the past.
Yeah. Which I'm sure makes playing shows a bit difficult. When you've had to. Mm-hmm. Which I guess that's actually kind of one of the questions that I really enjoy asking the most. But like songwriting process. Mm-hmm. What is your take? How do you approach writing? Is it? I know a lot of people. There's a lot of people who think it out a lot. A lot of people that just kind of go with the flow. How would you describe your process?
For me, I think my process looks like kind of figuring out the sound that I want to make, or playing around on guitar first and then forming words that go along with it. And then sometimes I flip it upside down, because usually when I get the urge to write a song, because it's been so long since I've written songs, in the last 2 years, then I just started writing again.
Okay.
That I already have the song stuck in my head that I want to like bring out of me tangibly. So then I already have the melody in my head already, and I can hear all the multiple parts of like what the vocals sound like, what I want the melody of whatever instrument it is to go along with, and then I figure out how to mash it up, and most of the time it doesn't work, but sometimes I can figure it out. So
sometimes it just falls into place.
And then words usually are like the last thing that I figure out.
Really?
Yeah, unless there's a story that I want to tell, which and the last thing I recorded about 5 songs, and it's called the Featherbed, and that song was like a story that I'd written. It was just like I just wrote it out out of nowhere. Okay. And then just put the song on top of it. Yeah. And then that's not how I usually do it anyway. But,
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, is that something? Is that a product of? Is that process changing? Would you say, is that a product of where you've been at in life? I mean, since it's not something that you did typically beforehand, or is it just kind of something you decided to try differently?
I think it's just something I tried differently, mostly because I'm always trying to explore how I want it to sound.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure for that song I came up with like a really catchy riff that reminded me of like an old folk tune, but it was kind of darker, and so I wrote a song about like a fairy tale where like I found an elf magical kingdom, and then they were mad, so they turned me into a tree for 1,000 years, and then I turned back to life, and then like everybody I knew was gone. So that's like the story that I wrote out of nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like using your imagination and then playing and having fun with it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's a lot of fun. I've always been fascinated with concept albums in general. I think it's one of the more intriguing aspects of music and writing music.
Yeah.
Putting an entire theme and concept to something that you're just kind of explaining through a medium without just talking or writing, you know. That's it's really special. Yeah, it's a wonderful album, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I really enjoyed it. You have a very, very pretty it's just very pretty and intimate the way you approach singing over the guitar melodies that you have, that I really
Thank
enjoy.
you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh no. Did you drop your coloring book, Clementine?
Here you go.
Uh-oh. Nice.
Like, whoops.
Yeah, so how long have you been playing guitar and writing music?
I learned how to play guitar in 2009 and 10. That year, I was a freshman in high school, and my family moved out to North Dakota, and we were snowed in. We had 6 feet of snow.
Oh my gosh.
And school was not canceled, but my mom was like, we can't get out of the house, so you're staying home. And I had this little crappy Toys R Us guitar that I put stickers all over, and
That's awesome.
like a little booklet that showed you how to do chords, but my fingers weren't strong enough to do them, so I just kind of just made up my own thing.
Okay.
And because my mom worked at a college, there were a bunch of kids that played like worship music and instruments, and I would be like, look, I invented this, and they're like, that's the B chord. And I'm like, okay, now I know.
That's
so
awesome.
I ended up memorizing a bunch, and then like joining a worship team, but only knowing like G, C, D, E minor.
So every worship song ever.
Yes, which just was perfect because that's all I figured out.
Yeah.
Which is great. But then after that, I moved back to Ohio and joined the jazz band of my high school, and I did not even know anything other than those chords.
Yeah.
But the guy there that was the director at the time was from New York, I believe, and he was like, okay, you are super fast learner, and I think that you could actually make it into like the higher jazz band if you really practice, so I'm going to have you like learn guitar with this AU teacher.
Okay.
At the university. And I was like, okay. So after school, I'd go there. And this guy was like, you must play like very formally, like classical guitar. Like, I'm going to teach you all I know, blah, blah, blah. And I think I took 2 lessons. And I was like, this is not for me. I just like to invent my own thing. So I did all I could to figure out like the shapes and the patterns for like jazz chords. And then I just basically stopped learning after that because I just was like, this is fine. I'm done. Yeah. And I really just didn't enjoy playing guitar after that. And then, unless it was my own thing. Yeah. And, so after high school, I just decided that, I'm going to be a worship leader and I'm just going to focus on singing and then doing that. And so that was my phase for a while. And then, it wasn't until after high school where it was like 2014, I started actually listening to music because I just listened to jazz and like Jeff Buckley and just like Led Zeppelin and Bob Dylan. And that's pretty much it. That was my range of only music I knew. And then I just started listening to like weirdest stuff ever outside of like the pop mainstream sort of thing. So, yeah. So then I just decided I wanted to just play in a band, and I did that for a tiny bit, like a really tiny bit, like twice. And it just nothing ever stuck.
Yeah.
But I'd always write my own songs.
Yeah.
So, actually, in the last 2 or 3 years, I think I've only written like one song until recently. I wrote those 5 songs, and yeah. So I just, when I got pregnant with Clementine, I could not listen to music.
Really?
Yeah, and it did make sense because I had my band Trash World.
Yeah.
And like I was listening to music all the time.
Yeah.
And then it switched where I was like, okay, everything is like hurting my brain. And I think I was overstimulated.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm just gonna listen to like ambient music. So I went through this whole phase of just listening to wordless ambient music. Okay. My favorite being this guy Seller and his wife Chubby Wolf. They make like
amazing.
Just droney, like hours long drone music where just like thousands of like sounds, basically soundscapes, and then each song is titled with something extremely poetic. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I liked listening to that for a long time. And then there's this guy Chihei, I don't remember his last name at the moment, but then I was like, okay, I just need silence in my life. So I don't know if I was just going through like a depressed episode or just like dealing with a lot of stuff from like the last few years, but living in a place where I can accept that silence is okay now has stimulated a point in a new season of my life where I can actually hear music like within my mind and like just how it was when I was a child. Okay. You know, like having the same imagination like before. And I don't know. I'm excited to like share these songs on Friday. Yeah. Because they're all new and because I haven't played a show in like years now, and just because I mean it means so much to me that it's like a new season that I'm in, and that people can appreciate it for what it is. Yeah. And
that's amazing. That's amazing. It's amazing, and also it's strange, the idea of not being okay with silence in general. I think obviously like technology and things, there's always something going on. There's always something to fill your headspace with. Yeah. And being okay to just relax and be quiet for a minute and enjoy that is can be scary. And so I can definitely see how that would get really overwhelming and you just want to stop. Yeah. In general. Which I'm sure was extremely freeing once you did.
Because I realized I put so much of my identity on what I listened to, and then while I was going through major changes, there was nothing that I could just like attach my mood or my personality to, like music-wise, and I was just like, okay, so now everything can't relate to anything. That's how I feel. Like I don't want to hear anything because everything is affecting me so much emotionally that I'm gonna cry if I hear like another drone song or like or even just like a indie girl singing a heartbreaking song. Like I can't deal with it, and now everybody's making new stuff and there's more to explore, and now I can actually like start listening to new things that don't give me triggering memories or like make me upset or and I'm also like done having babies for a while, so it also helps, right? Just like being in a whole bubble of like emotion literally in your body that you can't control the amount it makes everything just suck. So
yeah, hormones are an incredible thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, how has motherhood kind of shaped your view of creating in that way through that time? I mean, obviously the like you were just saying with being completely overstimulated and with waves of emotions, but in other ways, like
it makes me when I became a mom, it really made me think that okay, even the simple things have value, and like the things that you overlook have value, like from just like nature and exploring nature and giving yourself time to rest, and like ideas like like exploring your emotions and how you deal with them, and like why you feel certain ways or why you think about certain things, or like just learning and in general to value just the present moment, or like day-to-day mundane life is extremely challenging, but also can be shifted in your perspective to be cherished at the same time. And that's the thing that I've realized that I need to do more, is just like, okay, take a step back, realize every day is going to be okay, like we're going to make it through the hard days, and even like every day is not going to be exciting, you know. Like every day for weeks you could just not see a person, and like how are you going to find joy in the midst of that? And so I think now I'm in this phase of valuing nature and valuing like those in-between moments, and my inspiration is more focused toward like that slow paced living life, and I get really inspired by other women and other people who are teaching their kids that it's fine to just not just like throw your kid in front of the TV, which we all do. It's fine to just chill and like write a song. It's fine to chill and just like draw something, or like explore what's inside of you, because everybody is different, and that's what I've learned from having kids.
That's sick.
Like both my kids are chill, but they all have their moments, and
that's amazing. That's really amazing.
So I really love being a mother, but it is really hard, and it's like that for everybody. And I got the most like awesome kids, so
pretty awesome. They are super chill and extremely adorable. Oh my gosh. You guys really did it on the adorable factor there. That's
Thank
for sure.
you. I think so too. And it's so fun because Clementine has this Casio in her room. Well, she's got two pianos in her room.
Nice.
But this Casio, which Jerry and I wrote, we wrote these COVID songs.
Okay.
Just with like the little beats that you can play with. And this old Casio, it was just in our house when we moved in, and he put batteries in it and it worked. And so she plays with all these songs, and she would wake up at like 7 a.m, just full volume, just the most crazy things that she's just playing on this Casio with like the beats, with the melodies, and all these different sounds. And she's just singing her own song and dancing to whatever she makes, and it's so fun to like see her enjoy herself, you know, what she can create.
Which is probably an amazing feeling as a parent, having seeing your child create like that, even at an early age.
And it's not like I expect my child to be like a certain way. Like I feel like for a lot of artists, we grow up with like parents who are like, artists can't make money. Like,
Yeah, right.
You're gonna be weak if you feel things. You shouldn't pursue this. Or like, if your parents did also encourage it, like, you have to be the best musician there ever was, or else it's not worth it.
Right.
So now I don't even put that on her at all. Like,
That rules.
right now she wants to be a ballerina, and you can be a ballerina if you want. And
Heck yeah.
tomorrow she might want to be a dinosaur or a construction worker, and that's fine.
Right. That rules. Absolutely. And which is part of, like you were saying earlier, accepting silence and getting back to that childlike imaginary space. Like, it's...
And in that in-between space between, like, okay, I can't listen to music, I can't make songs, even, like, on the guitar, or, like, not knowing why or how to have an outlet.
Yeah.
I just shift through different creative outlets, and, like, I've been writing, like, earlier this year I was writing a lot. I was writing a book, and I finished it, the first draft of it, and then...
that's awesome.
Yeah, and then...
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then after it was done, I was like, okay, I want to completely, like, redo it now.
Yeah. Just
It's
essentially
how it
scrap
is.
it
It's
and
like,
rewrite
yeah.
it once you... Yeah.
Yep.
Which,
The
speaking
urge to just
of
start
which, that 12-minute long poem on your Bandcamp
Oh,
is,
yes. I actually...
is beautiful.
I spoke
by
that
the way.
last night at
Did you?
the Literati at... that's at... Luke Beekman's house.
Okay. Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
So at Luke's house, on the first Fridays, they have, like, a place where you can just share your poetry, writing a song, like anything.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
From 8 to 10 usually in the
Okay.
evening. So I went for the first time last night, and I was going to share a chapter from my book, but when I went to find it, it was, like, mostly all erased.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to read this poem. So, yeah, that one meant a lot to me.
Yeah, I could tell. I listened through it. So my band Corner House is covering Madison for 419 renditions. And as we were going through listening to your stuff, I'd listened to that in its entirety.
Oh my goodness.
It's beautiful. It was, I really appreciated how vulnerable you were at times with the honesty in the writing. I think it's fantastic. If you haven't listened to it, please go check it out on our Bandcamp. It's well worth the listen to. But me and Josh had talked about, like, how cool it would be to put that to music.
You should. That'd be fun.
Unfortunately,
there's a lot of talking.
Yeah. Well, it also Josh is a very busy man with his own family and stuff as well. So we figured a song would just be a little bit easier to tackle at first, unfortunately. But yeah, it would be. It's wonderful though. Yeah, you guys should definitely go check it out.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I remember. I think it was that you. It was in one of the most recent membrane installations, I think, that Aurelio did at La Luna.
It's hanging over our fireplace, mantelpiece.
Yeah.
Place.
I remember I was excited that you had it up on Bandcamp in recorded fashion because I tried reading it that night. I got through about half of it and something happened and I had to leave. But
it's I made that whole picture out of words, and I was thinking about making, like, an actual, like, landscape sort of piece out of it. So that's what I was originally going to do, but then I figured, I might as well just make it easier for them to read, like, pieces and parts of it. So that poem was mostly about different circumstances and people that I had met in my teen years through early 20s, and then just the hard things that we deal with, and perspectives of God, and shifts in beliefs and all sorts of stuff. So which has changed for me so much throughout the years. Especially with having kids, it's just, everything changes like all the time, like month to month.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you learn a new thing. I was literally just talking to some lady that I didn't know at the coffee shop, saying, she was saying, like, I love this age. It's my favorite age of what Clementine's age is, and like 2.5, and which is not my favorite age for her right now, honestly. But I said to her, like, every single age has its perks and its difficulties. You know? So
I imagine.
And it's the same in our own personal lives. Like, there's things that are hard for all of us right now, and there's things that, you know, help us get by.
Right.
So,
which I think is one of the coolest aspects of music, and I think is what people gravitate the most to it, is the ability to relate to anybody on a certain level, because everybody can be at different places and still get things from music on such an intimate level, even if you're at even if you're in your older ages, younger ages, it really doesn't matter. Which is very fascinating. When
I was pregnant with Clementine, like super pregnant, I had gone to like a women's meeting for like at this church that I wasn't really connected with. And I got sat at a table with all like old people, and you were supposed to like have accountability partners with these people. So like all of these ladies that I was with, I still like see and talk to, and they're like 60s, 70s.
That's awesome.
I'm like my closest friends being old people. I love it.
That's awesome.
But they're all artists too. I was like, this is awesome. Who would have known?
Right.
Good thing I threw myself out there.
Yeah, right. Hey, you know, God works in mysterious ways, they say, you know. That's amazing. So what being that at this point in time you're just coming back to music, and it's you're kind of dancing through various aspects of creativity in various mediums, what are do you have any plans future music wise? Is this something that you're hoping to continue sticking with again and pursuing more, or is it do you see this as being maybe another shorter season?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like show-wise, this might be, one of the only shows that I might do this year. I might be open to doing another one later, like in the fall time.
Okay.
And like writing music, I just do mostly like everything on my phone. And so my phone speaker is like shot now. I'm trying to record my version for the 419 renditions. And it's just like I have to make it extremely distant and atmospheric and like all ambient sounding and with the vocals, because it's all broken and you can hardly hear. So
well, if you need to record you can come over to my dad and I's studio and record it if you need to, if it doesn't work out. Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm still planning on writing some more stuff in the future. Maybe spending more time than just doing my one-hit wonders. And actually, I always wondered, because I've never really derived from the way of just doing things on a whim, like writing the song. If I actually took like, I'm going to work on one song for a long time, I wonder how good that song would be. Honestly, I think I would hate it. If I spend so much time on one song, be like, this does not sound the same as it did in the beginning, and I don't like it anymore. I think that's also one of the reasons why I read it and then I just put it there as its own art, and I like doing it that way. But other art that I'm continuing to do is I'm continuing to write and explore more with that. And
that's I really I can really resonate with that a lot, because that's something I've noticed myself and people in my family as well, it seems like really strongly like to just create something and it be its own creation and put it out and move on, and not recreate or spend time really focusing on recreating the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's really hard to do, though.
Yeah.
You know.
It takes a certain type of person. I think it's something I learned through food. With my recent stint and 2 cousins. Is that aspect of creating and recreating the same thing over and over again and having to grow that same creation isn't. It's not enjoyable. You know? Yeah. So I can definitely understand where you're coming from with that.
Definitely, and I think that at this time also I'm going through like a whole process of like healing and like dealing with different trauma and like going through a hard season of like reopening myself now that I'm like not extremely hormonal from having kids, that I can actually like clearly use my brain, which is probably why I can start writing songs again. But I would like to. Yes, you can get your cookie. I think you accidentally stepped on it.
Smushed cookies.
Yes. Here, you can get it. And I would love to, at some point, when I come to a later place where I can, like, not be so... When I'm more emotionally disciplined with myself, that I can actually tell my story in a very... clearer and straightforward place in some art form, that I wouldn't be so afraid to do that, because that's like one of my dreams, is to just allow people an access to healing. And like something somebody said to me like years ago, maybe like 5 to 7 years ago, is that when I sing, that I help people like ease their anxiety, which I thought, that's silly because I have anxiety. And I don't know, like maybe it's true. I would love to, I don't know, give people a moment of peace through music, or even just like a moment of reflection in their own lives through like, I don't know, a meditation, or like a writing, or any piece of visual art, or like, I know Jerry's doing his kombucha, so like
it's so good.
Yeah, and just also, enjoying time with like one another, and the aspect of growing and being in the present moment, and also taking care of yourself, and so
that's wonderful.
I would like to involve all of those things in and what I make in the future, and I'm working on doing that also. So
that's so cool.
In the Featherbed, it's mostly because it's like inside of me, I want to let out all of my stories that I have, all the things that I have to give into my artwork. And I think that was just like the blossoming little bloom of okay, here's a story, and then I think I wrote like 1 or 2 songs that just like had no meaning onto there, but like the song Amsterdam Nord was a song about going. I was in Amsterdam for a little while, just like 2 weeks, and during that time there were these Portuguese people that were like, they were older pastors, and they were staying in some cottage like way out in the country.
Okay.
And it was like, the way there was alongside the North Sea, and there was a huge storm brewing, and it was windy, and there was quicksand, and
oh wow,
I don't know what gave my leader this urge because I was in like a college program. But he was like, okay, now you drive the, 12 passenger van. And I'm like, okay, I just turned 18. I don't have a license for this, but all right. And we're in a different country. He's like, it'll be fine on the way back. And I ended up driving on a bike trail. I was driving like alongside the road. There's a huge ditch on a bike trail. And there were these huge sand dunes. And we were like, okay, let's go and like explore. But there's quicksand everywhere. And I was like, it's quicksand.
Yeah.
Like, who encounters this? I always see like
sounds horrifying.
Jokes about like, oh, we always like prepared ourselves for what would happen if there's quicksand, but we never encounter it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm feeling all these different ways. Oops, are you okay? And it's like windy and there's these huge clouds and I'm just like running into the sand and the clouds and I feel like I'm going to be eaten alive. And that's just mostly like what that song is about. It's just like a really silly, beautiful moment and picture in my memory.
Interesting.
Memory brain archive,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so random.
Yeah, and I just like, don't we all have those like random 1 moment, 2 moment random memories of like, the moment when like somebody cracks an egg on your head and it's not boiled, or like, weird childhood memories. Like I have so many.
Yeah.
Like I learned to count to 100 when I was playing hopscotch during a tornado, like it's weird stuff. Like we all have those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and if you can put that to a song and make something catchy and also relatable, but and get that out and in some form, it's kind of a magical experience.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's telling a fairy tale.
Yeah.
But also it being a true story or a part of your life.
That's awesome. Oh man, well I look forward to what's next then.
Thank you.
Hearing more. The first song on Featherbed, I can't remember the name, but it always gets stuck in it was stuck in my head almost the entire time that we're trying to figure out which song to cover of yours.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's very catchy.
Yeah, I used to always hate catchy songs.
Really?
It's like, okay, this is too easy then. If it's too catchy, like other people can do it.
Okay.
But now I don't see it as that way.
Oh,
now
good.
I see it as like, oh, you wrote a catchy, like poppy sort of tune.
Yeah.
That must mean that it's really good and other people can like groove to it.
Right.
I used to be so abstract with how I viewed things. Like, oh, I have to be the most different and this has to be like the ugliest sounding thing that I can make, and then I will value it enough.
So you're an artistic youth. That's true and true.
Yeah.
Oh man. Like writing catchy stuff is like it's almost like mind hacking other people, figuring out how to make something stick in their head all the time. It's fun. It's fun game. That's for sure.
I didn't even get that perspective forever until Jerry was saying like how his perspective on like more poppy songs and like why why songs are catchy and like almost the psychology of different songs that made it on the top 40 and just like stuff like that.
Yeah, he's good for stuff like that. Always good at ripping out some perspective that you really didn't consider in that way. I always enjoyed talking to Jerry about stuff like that. It's fun.
Perspective.
That's good. Have you guys ever worked on anything musically?
We tried doing 2 things together musically. 2 songs. One song, it was one that was called Resilient Bastard by Shell Shag, and we did that together, recorded it, and we like got through it. The other one was like a sketch of a song, and I like tried to put words on it, and it just like did not work out at all. And it stinks because we were both like, doing music. Yeah. And I guess I wasn't at the time. I was really trying to force myself to do it because it was in that moment where I was like in the silence period.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't enjoy anything. I can't make a good tune. I don't have any good ideas. But it's like maybe that's all just limiting beliefs that I had inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like, but I'm playing every single day. I have so many songs. There's so much to say, and I'm going to let it out whether other people want to listen to it or not. And I'm just like, yeah, me too. But I couldn't at that point.
It's amazing.
Yes, you can get your water. So I really valued that about. Oh, did you drop it? It's right there. I really valued that about him.
Yeah.
Now he's at an entirely different stage in life where he's not doing any music or any visual art, and he's just, being diligent and like doing so many different things, but like, managing his time to like make art through making kombucha and like making it like cool and having people put art on it. Woo.
Nice.
Off. And like seeing how you can connect the community and help the place around you and like do something different and
it's fantastic. Sweat
so he's
kombucha. Check it out.
He is enjoying his own artistic outlet through doing that, and yeah, that's super valuable. And he's also, working at Hudson and Essex and, being him there. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
we're learning how to be a better team and like be a good team.
Oh.
And even though we're very different, it's so strange. Like when we first were married. Like we're like, oh yeah, we're so similar, and now it like switched to like we're nothing alike, but we can get along. Yeah.
It's the joy I feel of life and marriage.
Oh yeah,
and how to grow and work together as the best team that you can possibly be.
Yeah, definitely.
And
especially with babies.
Especially with two adorable little kids.
Oh, please
my
don't
gosh.
do that.
Oh, it's okay. I have no idea what she's doing, but
she's
I'm sure it'll be okay.
The wall.
Oh, that's not my wall. Sorry, Richland source and everybody.
No more. Thank you. No more. Let's color or play with Pony.
I don't want to.
Okay. Well, we are almost done. Do not touch it anymore. Okay? Because you can't fix that. All right? Yes, but please don't tear it. Okay, you can squish it. But let's not break it. I know you want to, but I'm going to have to put you on here if you cannot listen.
Hey, Clementine. Can you tell me about your music? I hear you make music.
You want to talk about music? What kind of music do you like?
Pink music.
Pink music.
You like pink music?
Yeah.
And what songs are your favorite song?
Wheels on the bus.
The Wheels on the Bus.
Oh, that's a classic.
She likes The Wheels on the Bus.
Oh, that's a good one.
Peppa Pig has an album. I don't know if you know this.
I don't.
Peppa Pig has like their first album has a song called Rainbow on it.
Nice.
And it's a really good one. She makes me sing every day before she goes to sleep. And
nice.
She also likes Cinderella songs, so
Man.
yeah, if you haven't listened to those songs, you should definitely go check them out. They're definitely bangers.
Okay. Peppa Pig, Rainbows.
Yep. Rainbow.
How does it go? Can you sing it?
No.
No? Okay, that's fine. You don't have to. Yeah. Well, I look forward to hearing your music one day, Clementine, if you ever create anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So silly.
But yeah, so Friday, you are playing second Newsroom After Hours with Autopoxy and Confusions. My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Forgive me. Confusions. You going to play mostly everything off of Featherbed then?
I'm playing 4 songs from Featherbed.
Okay.
I'm not playing the Featherbed.
Okay. Not
I'm
playing
not playing
the track off the title track.
Featherbed. That's the only one I'm not playing.
Okay.
Which it's just because it's really long.
Yeah.
And also hard to memorize. So
Oh, interesting.
I mean, for me.
Well,
but
yeah, I mean, that's
it's just very wordy.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Nice.
It's more enjoyable to listen on the recording than it is to listen to a whole long story live, you know?
That's fair.
But, yeah, I'm playing all 4 other songs. I'm playing the song Space, which is about, I don't even know what it's about, really. It's more just, like, dealing with life.
That's the first track.
Yes, the
Yes.
first...
That one's so catchy.
Oh, yes, it's talking about the universe and that. So there's that one, and then there's a song It's All a Mirage that I'm doing last, and that one's talking about like being in a dissociative state and not thinking everything's real, but you can do it. And then I'm doing the Amsterdam song, and then a song called Meridian, which is my song that has no meaning to it. So it's just a good one.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited to perform those songs.
Yeah.
For the first time in 2 years, like ever performing. So.
Man. That's how Hurricane Dick had just, I had them on the last episode, and they had just played their first show in 2 years at the Mothership last weekend, I think it was.
Yes, I saw a picture.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm so happy that people are starting to play shows again and actually having their first shows in 2 years. It's very exciting. I miss Mansfield having awesome shows as often as possible. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm very much looking forward to Friday. It's going to be a good show.
Cool.
Yeah. So where can people find your music at?
I have most of my music is on Bandcamp. It's madisonlang.bandcamp.com. Which has music from Trash World, and it also has, when I was in Ricochet, the live recording from No Culture. The entire show is like all one straight track. I think that's
awesome.
like 30 minutes long. And then it has Zen Garden, which is the 12-minute poem. And then it has Featherbed and all these random songs that I've written in the last couple of years when I had the energy to.
Nice.
And then, I think that's about it. We had a project called Banana Fish. Jerry and I did have a project together called Banana Fish from like 3 years ago, but we never played music actually together. We made songs and then just put them as like a split.
Okay.
Or on
like
an album.
Collab split.
Yeah. And so that one was inspired by J.D. Salinger. His book 9 Stories, and which is like my favorite book of all time. So,
Okay, I'm unfamiliar.
So I think that one is somewhere on Bandcamp, but it's hard to find. You just have to explore and dig, and you might find it. But
Sick. I'm gonna
if
have to do some
you
digging
look
then.
through the hashtag Mansfield, you'll find probably every single thing that's ever been made from both Jerry and myself.
Okay.
Because I think it's always been under that. But,
sick.
Yeah, but I think we've had like 3 or 4 different names. Everything's changed so long. And I think the only thing that you can't find anymore is Joan the Wad, which was my like more hip hop stuff, which used to be on Spotify and YouTube, and it's not anymore. So I think there's one music video, but that's it. That's where you can find all my stuff on Bandcamp.
Sick.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, Friday, Newsroom after hours. Do you know what time it is?
It's at 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah, I'm playing first.
First? Okay. So get there early, show up, and check out Madison's new stuff.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the Open Mic Podcast. This has been me, Tom Hirst, your host, brought to you by Richland Source, Newsroom After Hours, sponsored by Two Cousins Pizza Co., Henry Screen Printing, and Potent Studios. And if you need some news, go check out Richland Source. If you need some pizza, go downtown Mansfield, 103 North Main. If you need some shirts printed, check out Henry. And if you need some music video or lighting, hit up Potent Studios. You can check me out. Follow me on Instagram at the Open Mic PDcast. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.